All right, Nick. I'm back. Reds are on what we would call life support's a strong word. It's not the word that I'd like to use tonight, but it feels like and by the way, my apologies. I'm not in my usual setup. I'm like a standing desk right now. Everything's a mess, but you know what? I'm here, so that's all that matters.
That's all that matters, Trace.
All right.
The Reds won any close games this year, Trace?
A few. We've won a couple.
A few?
Yeah, a couple one-run games.
All right, Willie Benson.
Nothing different. Put the chat away as usual. Love the chat. Can't do it, though. I'm going to be behind you because that's just the way it goes.
Yeah. I just saw the first pitch. I'll let you know here when I get to the they're not doing the pitch clock, so
I'm not that far behind you actually this time, I don't think.
All right, let me know when you see the
0-1, right? We're both 0-1.
Yeah, let me know when you see the 0-1. I got to pause right after the 0-1.
Oh, shoot. So you already know I'm behind you. All right. Pitcher comes set, fires, ball. 1-1.
All right.
Guy catches the ball.
Yep, we're good.
Okay.
No pitch clock and that was such an easy way to make sure we synced
That was
up.
a way to cheat the system.
Bally mailing it in September.
The pitch clock functionality thing's not working tonight. Much of this setup I got going on right now. I like how I decided, Nick, to just tear this thing apart completely. To probably have it perfectly ready for the last 3 weeks of the season, but maybe there's a long postseason run.
Yeah.
Nice.
Damn. It's nice. It's a nice play. I sure would have liked to have saw Will Benson hit with the bases loaded for Nick Senzel against a right-handed pitcher earlier.
Yeah, I don't understand that one, man.
That's
swung at ball 4 too. He had a good at bat though. But yeah, that makes no sense, Nick.
No, I know what the thinking was. Senzel was 2 for 2, and it was an emotional decision. Trust the computer, David. It's got you here. You're 74 and 71 because you've trusted the damn computer, and you didn't trust it tonight.
I mean, you got a point. You should, if you seen what I was dealing with right now, you'd laugh.
Is there like a wire gonna come down on you in the middle of the show?
Do you know the mic stands that have like the XLR already built into them, so it kind of it cleans it up a little bit? Well, that's the one I was using, right? Like the arm one that I can move around. The way the setup is now, I just have like a one that sits on the desk, but I don't have an XLR, so I have a arm microphone stand just laying on this table just so I could use the XLR that comes with it. You can't take the XLR out of the mic stand, so I have 2 mic stands.
Oh, that's tough.
Gettily put together here. I know, first world problems if we're being honest. But they're problems nonetheless, people. They're problems nonetheless.
I like this one because it's not built in, but it's got little clips for it, so you could replace it if needed.
Yeah. Yes. So imagine that, but with it basically going in the machine and then not being able to get it.
That made me nervous. If it ever breaks, your stand's toast.
This is true. That's just not ideal.
Sorry, folks. I haven't been. I'm used to game day here over the weekend.
Sorry.
Right, there you
2
go.
outs. We got 2 outs.
We caught up on the outs. We caught up.
I got drill guns in the back. Look at that. Where's it at? Look at that. I'm gonna go clean that up. Or I got some. Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, hopefully you get to dunk and definitely clean that up. Don't need to see you stepping on a drill. That would be an iconic moment, though.
Yeah.
All right, Martini magic.
Yes.
Martini magic.
Come on, big
We need
stick.
it.
Ball. know why this is so stressful. We're just, I'll wait for the show.
Clay Snowden, man, on our podcast yesterday, nailed it. Said the starting pitcher absolutely sucks, but watch out for that Tigers bullpen.
Yeah, we had chances to get the starter too. We had chances to kind of blow I don't want to say blow it open, but get 7-8 runs. We just didn't. We didn't get it done. Tough.
All right. Manifested Sadek.
That's such a good take.
He's confident for a dude.
He is. He's confident. No, he's playing. He's seeing the ball well, and he's playing well. I mean, he's not Nick Martini of old right now. Those are good takes, man. It's a guy that's seeing the ball better than most. Nope. Well, Javier Baez of all guys to lead the inning off. All right, let me pull the chat up. Let's have some fun. Let's talk ball. Oh, chat. I missed you. Every time I leave, though, they can never find a way to make me pleased when I leave. I don't understand that. I don't understand how I leave the Cardinal series at home, and that's just what I get in return on the way back home. It's not over yet, but boy, it feels like this is a must win, doesn't it? Man.
Craig just texted me. I swear to God, if Javier effing Baez beats us.
Yeah, we're not doing the Baez thing, right?
He already hit one ball hard today. He got the hardest hit ball of the game.
Yeah, throw 3 sliders that are a foot outside, and hopefully he swings it all.
Where are we going here? We going? I can't imagine David's going Alexis. I don't have it announced yet on game day. I'm trying to think. Who would we go to here?
I have not looked at the.
We already did. Jabot already pitched.
Did you look at Fangraphs at all?
Buck Farmer.
I have no screens tonight. My screen's literally one screen, which this should be the last night of one.
Oh,
screen.
He's going Alexis. Not messing around.
I don't hate it, but
you're going to probably try to get 2 out of Alexis if he's able to get through this. I would think, because you're going to have the top of the order in the 10th.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, hey, this is the time of the year to push guys.
Yeah, I mean, he had a day off, obviously, and
had a nice clean short outing on Sunday.
Yep.
Which was great to see. I think only threw 9 pitches, if I recall. Not a whole lot of 9-pitch Alexis Diaz outings this year.
No, usually that's the first hitter.
Yeah. Ooh. Javier Baez is the worst hitter on the planet, and he still just scares you.
I mean, he's got it in him. Just a matter of throwing strikes at this point. It is what it is. Let's go after guys. I'm not walking guys. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, not in this ballpark. I mean, you got to make them. You saw that one that Sims, dude, absolutely crushed a ball, and it didn't even get to the warning track. Yeah,
I don't know. How do you swing at that? Like, what this fucking... He might hit a home run. You know what? He might hit a home run, chat. I'm sorry, but I'm laughing at this guy. Like,
yeah,
that's just objectively funny what he just did. He swung at that.
Swing?
That's a swing. That's a swing.
Yeah, it's a swing.
Yeah. Come on, bro. Well, you swung.
You swung, dude. Well, maybe it was a little closer.
Yeah, maybe not. That's a tough call for Baez, I think. I mean, he did start a swing, but he mostly was just trying to get out of the way.
Someone made the point the other day that is something they probably should look at changing.
Yeah.
You know, especially with how pitchers throw now and stuff. And I have to tend to agree. There you go.
Nice.
Sit your ass down. Oh, I'm really behind here. Sorry, folks. Javier Baez still owed $98 million. Remember that next time you want to go sign someone to 100 years.
Yeah, good luck.
All right.
Can I admit something? I know this guy's hitting ninth, but his presence in the box kind of scares me.
He's only at ninth because it's only it's only because they're facing a lefty. He normally hits in the middle of their lineup, so he's not a typical 9-hole hitter. He's their, I think, 11th ranked prospect.
I was gonna say, how's only got one home run? Did he just get caught up?
Yeah, he's only played like 15 games or something.
Yeah. And he looks like he can hit a baseball. With all due respect, of course. 94 right down the middle.
You got to make a beach in this ballpark.
No, you do. I'm not complaining about it.
And he's down 2-0. I mean,
I'm not complaining about it.
Oh.
Nice pitch.
Come on, Mets. What are you doing?
Are they blowing it?
It's 6-3, but the D-backs have the bases loaded, 1 out, 8th inning. God almighty.
Don't worry about that game, Hick. Come on.
They all matter. Damn.
They do, but you gotta
it matters. They both matter equally. They both matter equally.
Not really. When you have 3 teams, you gotta jump.
But then the team that's the actually holds the spot. This game and our game means the same.
I just can't agree with that.
It just feels different.
Okay, feels don't matter. Get out of your feels, David Bell. Go back to the computer.
Yes, back to the computer.
If you win this game, let's just say, hypothetically, of course, and the Diamondbacks win their game, and the Marlins lost, and the Giants lost, is it all the same, Nick? Yes or no? It's not. Trace wins the argument. That's just that's so ridiculous. I mean, you're letting. I mean, no offense, but has that guy stolen more than 5 bases in his whole life? Maybe not. I don't know, but like, that's what happens when you throw over the first time without a real meaning to it. They just assume you're not going to throw over again. All right.
Still 19 bases at Toledo. Oh, the Mets just walked in a run. Oh, man. I can't watch this. It's too much. Too much. Oof.
Whenever this game concludes, stay with us for Reds Live, the postgame program, brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. AG and Sammy, Dream Team reunited.
Just walking guys just pisses me off so bad, man. Hitting guys, walking guys. Diaz just...
I didn't want to say it live, but that guy 0 for his last 23, too. He's a good player, but, man.
I don't give so tired of walking guys.
You can't walk guys in this ballpark. No, really any ballpark, but really this ballpark. All right, one more.
All right, we need some positive energy. We need some likes. I know we're behind you. Hell, the game could be over. It could be going to the 10th. I have no idea, but I know this. We're walking this guy, right?
No, this guy is a platoon player. He doesn't even play against right-handed pitchers.
Okay,
you got to go after him.
So you're saying
against lefties.
He's only lefty split guy. Okay.
He doesn't play. Uncompetitive first pitch.
Was that serious by that guy hitting? Did he try to call timeout? Did he try to call timeout and then just?
Oh, I thought it was an automatic take, and he was just stepping back like they do sometimes.
Oh gosh. Come on, throw another one of those, please. Let's not get cute and throw that fastball, please. If you swing at that and you're that, he missed that by 2 feet, Nick. Just throw it again. I'll live with it if he hits that pitch. Thank you. Make a play. Make a play. All right, come on. I'll be right back. I can't. This is a little too stressful.
Is anyone else a little nervous when Steer fielded that ball? Oh, I thought maybe this would be the time he'd throw one away. Oh God. All right, folks, we need likes. I'm gonna pull the chat back up. How we feeling? Still alive. Where we at in the lineup? Who knows? All right, let's find out. I think Martini's the second, right? Tyler Stevenson, Joey Votto, Ellie De La Cruz. Do they have a runner for Martini? Martini's pretty slow. I do know that. And Lyon's in AAA, so he ain't running.
All right.
All right, so Martini's on second. I think they might be, I would imagine maybe they're considering pinch running. And then we got Tyler Stevenson, hottest hitter on the Reds, Joey Votto, Ellie De La Cruz. Let's roll. Maybe Jake Fraley comes in here. I don't know. Who do you pinch hit for?
Rave Damsey knows what I was doing. To go up there and get some.
Can Noelvi Marte run?
Yes, he can run. He can hit.
Well, I don't know if you save him to hit. I mean, at this point in the game, I'm saying he's the only guy that I think you would maybe want to use for Martini. We got super chat.
Yeah, we did. Michael Rolfe, thank you. This team makes me want to smash windows at my house and do cartwheels in celebration within minutes. I love them and hate them. Passion for the Reds baseball is back, baby. It's back. Big Corey, the Viking helmet guy, saying he's sending positive vibes. This SOB, and I mean that with all due respect, Viking helmet guy. Hey. He might be at the game, and this dude already seen a first pitch home run or something. I'm telling you, Big Corey, he's about as reliable as they come. Thank you, Big Corey.
Oh, the Mets got out of it. Whew, all right.
Oh my gosh.
Come on. Where are we going here? We pinch running?
I don't know, man. How late is Walmart?
This
open,
guy,
you know? What?
This guy's got nasty stuff, but struggles to throw strikes. That's from our friend Clay Snowden. So let's hope tonight's one of the nights he is struggling to throw.
Did he say he has tattoos? Because he's got a few of those too, and he likes turtlenecks.
Oh, Noelvi Marte. Your boy called it. Pinch running.
Who was running?
Martini, who we have determined it must be the slowest player on the planet because they pinch ran for him every time they've had an opportunity.
Come on, Tyler. It's a good swing.
This guy was a teammate of Jake Fraley at LSU and was part of the return for Nick Castellanos when he got traded to the Cubs. Here's your insider info.
Oh, man.
Come on, Ty Steve.
Right here.
Is that a short sleeve turtleneck?
That's what I was saying. He likes turtlenecks. Oh man, I need a chair. I don't have a chair. I need so many.
You're
things.
Standing. You're pulling a Casey McAllister over there.
I don't have a seat, so I have the old desk that we had in studio, and it's elevated, so it's like a bar, basically bar height.
Wow.
It's just it's a. Come on. Score. No. Okay, got there. Oh my gosh, dude, he looked like he was gonna be toast, and I think he was toast if the ball was online, but it wasn't, was it, Nick? It wasn't online, was it?
Good move. That's a good base runner.
I don't know, man. I don't know if I love that send, if we're being completely honest. I don't know if did he get a bad break? That's pretty bad.
This guy, I like the send. This guy strikes out a ton of batters.
Okay.
I
mean, if the throw's online, he's toast, but I mean, with all due respect to Noelve, could have used a better jump, but you know what? He's got a shiner of all shiners over there, don't he?
Let's go.
Noelve looks like Logan Paul if I got in a ring with him. Oh, Joseph. We need
the Mets just hit a donger. 7-4 New York Mets. 7-4. Let's go.
Nick, we need two of them. We need Joseph Livato to do something. Good job.
We need Joey just to walk. We need this guy to struggle with his command. He gave up a run. He already let his team down.
He didn't
lose his command.
Okay, fine. I like the negative energy you're giving Detroit. Oh. Tell you what, did you like that at bat earlier today when Votto just basically acted like he almost got hit by the ball and jumped out of the way and it was a strike? That's big league.
We need to call that like batter framing.
That's what it is. Go, run, Joey. Run, Joey. Run, Joey. Yeah, baby. That's why they suck. That's why bad.
That's that defense. Detroit defense, baby. Third in Major League Baseball in errors.
Oh, I love that. That's why you put the ball in play, kids.
Look at the burners. Just burner down the line. Let's go. I mean, speed.
Nick, can you hear me out? Can you hear me out for a second? Are we allowed to bunt? Are we allowed to bunt in Major League Baseball?
Yes. Bunting when you are leading to increase your lead is the best time to bunt.
Ellie ain't bunting, though, is he?
Especially with Ellie, man. You got a chance to...
I would bunt if I was Ellie, with all due respect. But I just don't know. How many times has Ellie bunted in his life?
They just crapped the bed on defense, too. I mean, he did the other day.
Run.
Yeah.
Run.
That might work.
Run. Shit.
Oh, what was Joey doing?
Safe.
What?
That was a smart play, dude. I think he might have been safe, though, Nick.
Yeah, did he tag him?
No. He held him, and then he threw it the first real quick. It's a smart baseball play. Votto had to stop so he didn't run into the tag, and then by the time he stopped, threw it to second and got him out on the tag. I think he was close to being safe, man. See, watch. He freezes him and then throws to first.
Let's get another replay. The umpire did not look like he was in position at all.
What about the guy at first?
What?
Nah, he was on the base. He's safe. He's safe. He's safe. I seen it live. He's safe.
What's the rule there? Can Votto just run right into Baez though after he throws? As I think if he runs into Baez after he throws, then it would be interference on Baez. I don't know why he went. That's what I didn't understand, why he went like all the way around him. I mean, it's a tough play. It's a split second.
Listen,
thing.
I need to know what's going on here. Are they not challenging that? He's safe, Nick. Did it hit his hand, maybe? Did it hit his hand? No, he's safe, Nick. He's safe. He's safe at second base. He's safe at second base, Nick. I'm so confused. Did we already use a challenge earlier in this game and we can't use one now? Or what's the stupid rule about this?
You should be able to ask that.
He was asking. I think he was just asking the crew chief, and the crew chief said, no, we're so smart out here. We don't want to look at it on replay because these games are not that important.
Seriously, chat. Anyone got an explanation of that?
Nobody's got an explanation for that.
Did they? Thom said, was he out of the baseline? But
no,
he
had 3 feet.
He was avoiding Baez. I think he should have ran into Baez though, because I think after Baez throw, Baez has to try to get out of the way.
He does, but it's hard. It's easier said than done because he was trying to avoid the tag. He wasn't trying to get out of the way of Baez to run the second. He was trying to get out of the way of Baez for the tag, and it just so happened to look like that.
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks, and that's why you bunt.
Yeah. Lord. Come on, Jake, make it all.
You got to bunt. I mean, it's hindsight 2020. So, but it wasn't hindsight 2020. Come on, Fraley, do it for us here.
Good take. Good take.
So they called him out of the baseline. That's what they actually called him.
Let me see. I'll pull up game day. I don't want to get spoiled.
Wait till
here.
Middle of the inning.
Yeah, he's straight.
Middle of the inning.
Oh, it's like game day still behind. I don't know if game day knows what it was called. Game day hasn't even updated. I don't think they even know what to put in for the call.
He was safe. Now, if you call him out for the baseline thing, that's a judgment call. I don't think they can review that, which I guess they can hide behind that if they want. But
I'm assuming Diaz is going too here, right?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. And it just says Votto out at second.
That's so bad.
I don't.
That might be what they called, and they just didn't want to challenge it.
Rick, the only player left to pinch run would have been CES.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think you want to save him in case you get in a. Well, they don't. Tigers actually don't have any other lefties left in their bullpen, but I would think you might want to save him. I don't know who you'd save him for though. Kind of everyone I think in the lineup.
Listen, I mean, I think that was a position where if we're going to complain about something, let's complain about the fact that we didn't bunt. That's where I'm at. You got a guy on first and second with nobody out, and one run. I mean, I'm not saying one run pretty much secures the win right there, but it feels like it. You get 2 runs in that inning, and it's curtains. Buck Farmer. Whatever, man. I mean, this bullpen's
tough.
This bullpen's been good all year, so we're gonna live with the result right here. Everyone's gonna live with what happens, and we're gonna keep it moving. It's hard to complain about. It's hard to complain about who you're bringing in the bullpen when the bullpen's been elite. I mean,
oh sure. I mean, this is a really tough spot. I mean, Torkelson and Carpenter, the 2 best hitters by a mile, due up with a runner on second. So, okay, here we go.
It's just.
Yeah.
I just don't know if he is.
I think he might have been out of the baseline. I think that he was way out. I think you could have called him out for being out of the baseline.
I mean, yeah, maybe. I don't know. You get 3 feet both ways once you establish your baseline.
Yeah, I mean, it's easier said than done in hindsight. But he should have just stopped, not moved. He should have stopped and then ran right through him after he threw the ball.
No,
like that's what he. But it's. I mean, that it's hard to be mad about that, but just a very unfortunate play. Oh, God. Spencer Steer's in the outfield now.
Yeah, not the ballpark where you'd like Spencer Steer to be in.
And Marte's in the infield now after. They show it like Marte's face. All right,
he's got like a big black eye. I seen him when he turned around the corner at least. Come on, Buck. That's an out. Right?
Yeah, it's an out. But they're going to hit tag.
He's got to be safe.
Craig was a umpire, and he texted me, there was no attempted tags. You create your own base path. He had to be called out on the tag.
Yeah, that's what I said. But
yeah.
I just don't know. You can say there was no attempted tag, but he kind of was avoiding a tag, and just because he didn't decide to tag him. But I don't think they called him out for the baseline. I think what happened was they just didn't want to review it, which is ridiculous if that's the answer. We'll find out after the game.
Hopefully it doesn't matter. Hopefully we don't have to find out.
Well, we'll still find out. Who's after this guy?
Their best hitter, Kerry Carpenter.
Okay.
He's got like 21 home runs, and he's played like half a season.
What a pitch. That's a good 2-0 swing. I like that.
Give me 2 more of those. Badu.
How many double plays is that guy grounded into? I'd like to know that. That's what he's going to do.
I don't want him hitting with the winning run on base.
I understand, but he's going to ground into a double play. So, or this guy's going to strike out. That'd be better. I'm all for plan A. Tag.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
That's such a bad contact play.
Still not out of it.
Nope, not out of it.
But, wow.
Not out of it, Nick.
Yeah.
He just smoked. Did you see that? That pitch comm just got blasted. I assume it still works.
Yeah.
I assume it still works. I don't know.
One pitch, Buck. One pitch, baby. One pitch. Cubs are losing. Starter's already out of the game.
Just make a play. Make a play, India. This guy's good. God bless.
And he had about a bad month to start the season with those numbers.
All I give a crap about right now is just one bad swing. One miss hit of a baseball. Just pop it straight up in the infield and let's keep it moving. Come on, Buck. Come on, buddy. You can do that. You can do it.
Make some noise. Make noise.
Oh, no. Come on, Buck. One pitch. Spiked it. He tried. He was feeling it. I'm okay with that. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, you can't.
Listen, I'll tell you why I'm okay with that. It's because now I don't think we're holding them on. I mean, we might not have been holding them on anyways, but now you can back up, give yourself some room, just make a pitch and get an out, Nick.
Cubs down 4-2. Hey, let's not go live. Let's not go live. We got 2 outs. We got two outs in New York.
Okay, I want the play-by-play.
Swing, fly ball. Reds are 1 game out of a playoff spot, folks. The Cincinnati Reds are 1 game out of a playoff spot. They ain't dead. They ain't dead. You wanted to call them dead. They're not dead. Let's do a show. Let's do a show.
Let's do a show. Nick Kirby's fired up, baby. Let's go. Season saving. Season saving. Listen, guys and girls and Molly. We only need to do that like 11 more times. 11 more Pilsners get cracked open, and the Cincinnati Reds are going to be playing playoff baseball. Nick, how many games out? I don't remember.
1. 16 games to play. 16 games to play. You know what the Reds' percentage of making the playoffs was when the season started? 1%. And now they're 1 game out with 16 games to play.
Oh, man. Shout out Big Corey, man. Dude's as clutch as they come. Dude's as clutch as they come, man. We got some other super chats to get to here really quickly before we get into the show. And they're all over. I mean, the super chats are coming in. Michael Rolfe said, Corey can see the future. Big Corey said he's 6-0 in Super Chat dubs. And Anon76 said, can I get this room to match me? If you appreciate the dedication of these guys, go Reds, go Chatterbox Sports. Thank you, fellas. $9.99. $9.99. I'll tell you what, man. I know I've been gone for a couple days. I'm standing during the show. I feel lost. I feel a little out of my element. I gotta be completely honest. The game was 3-0, and I just was feeling sorry for myself. I was thinking about how this has been an unbelievable season, and there's a chance that I'm watching it go right down the drain. And you know what? I know we have a box score to get to here, but Brandon Williamson. He had a little gut check time, and shout out him. I don't want him to go unnoticed during this. I know you put on here be what returns, but seriously, I know Detroit's terrible, and people are going to make fun of me for sitting here saying like that's a gutsy win, but that's a gutsy win. I know Detroit sucks, but listen, they all count the same. I feel okay saying that, and you know what? We just have to win the series. I know people are screaming about sweeping this, that, and the other, but we just need to win the series, Nick. This is a great step in winning a series.
Tigers have been 500 for like 3 months. Like, this isn't a team that's played terrible baseball. This is a team that's playing well. A team that's kind of building for next year. They're looking good. And you know what? You came in, you won a game. Hey, you know who didn't win a game? The Arizona Diamondbacks against a Mets team that sucks. So
careful though. We got to play them next. Careful. Let's not.
Baseball's hard. Baseball's hard.
Baseball is hard. Thank you, Pritchard Talent and Austin Dustin Croft for the super chats. He's gonna be at the game tomorrow and up in Detroit. Well, enjoy yourself. Comerica Park looks nice. It's not over till it's over. It's not over until Illy's over. Go Reds. Ned Flanders says the game ball goes to America's second baseman, Jonathan India. He didn't rush that throw to the plate. Huge. Ned Flanders, let me tell you something. Jonathan India is going to be a topic of conversation tonight for me. Casey McAllister, he likes getting his paychecks. He says, go Red Legs. If you haven't yet, get the likes up and check out our other shows on Chatterbox Sports. Thank you. Thank you, Casey. Okay, where do we start? Oh, that's right. We have a show plan, a box score recap. That's what we do. Nick, you want me to keep?
Need a minute.
Okay, yeah, he needs a minute. He needs a minute. You know what happens when he needs a minute? He gets me in trouble because why? I go on rants. Let me tell you something. Right now. Jonathan India is all the way back. All the way back. I was slanderous at times about Jonathan India. I said not nice things about his defense. I meant all of it. But you know what I'm going to say right now? I'm not saying another bad thing about the guy because at the end of the day, he's a competitor. He loves his teammates. And you know what? We've missed him. Like it or not, we've missed Jonathan India. That's the truth. We miss Matt McLain too. I think Matt McLain's an incredible second baseman. Don't get it twisted. But my gosh, Jonathan India, if he could just put this team on his back, that would be very kind of him. And I think that he can. He can get hot. And that's what we need. Jonathan India, some big hits today. And I'm glad that Ned Flanders brought him up. Michael Rolfe says, match for Corey, Spurlock, and Anon. Cartwheels tonight, baby. Hopefully I did that right, Michael. The Big Red Machine. You know, I've always said I love the Big Red Machine. Every time they get brought up, I'm a big Red Machine guy. You know, you guys all know that. How about Votto's Oscar performance at bat to start the second out rally? 3 runs thanks to his acting. Big Red Machine, you got a good point. Nick called that hitter's framing. I think he's onto something there. You know, I mean, hey, not everybody can. Let me see if I can do this. Not everybody can go. And the pitch is like a strike, and he convinces the umpire to think that. Did you see the umpire? The umpire flinched on that too. I don't know if you've watched it, but the umpire actually like kind of pulled one of those because he thought Votto was going to get hit by the pitch, and nope, just turns out it was a strike. This chat is ridiculous. I'm sorry. I seen something that's just made me laugh. Or the new Red Machine. Steve Cashman said, did Bell forget the platoon? He did forget the platoon for Nick Senzel. Will Benson should have hit for Nick Senzel with the bases loaded, but outside of that, David Bell does what he always does. I'm trying to keep up with this chat, folks. And Nick Kirby said he's ready for the box score recap, which means without further ado, it's time for the box score recap.
All right, your box score recap presented by Betfred Sportsbook. Reds, they fell down 3-0 in the second inning. Brandon Williamson gave up a solo home run and then a bunch of weak hits. Tigers took control of this game earlier. From the top of the second, your Cincinnati Reds, they responded with 2 outs, 2 on. TJ Friedl ripped a single down the right field line. That made it 3-1. Ellie De La Cruz went first to third. Heads up base running by Friedl, taking second on the throw. Jonathan India then singled home both guys. 3-3 tie ball game. Top of the third, another 2-out rally for the Reds. Votto walked. Ellie De La Cruz smoked a single up the middle. Then a bloop double by Harrison Bader scored both runners. Ellie De La Cruz, probably the only player in the sport that could score on it. 5-3 Reds. Brandon Williamson settled in through a perfect third and a perfect fourth, but then he did give up a walk and a double, making it a 5-4 Reds lead. David Bell went to Fernando Cruz. Cruz got the first 2 outs, but then Kerry Carpenter golfed a pitch way low into the outfield, tie game at 5. And it would remain tied for a while. Why did it remain tied for a while? Because the Cincinnati Reds bullpen, through 6 innings, only allowed 2 hits, no runs, no walks, and 7 strikeouts. Let me read that again. 6 innings, 2 hits, no runs, no walks, 7 strikeouts. Another heroic performance from your Cincinnati Reds bullpen, getting us into the 10th inning. 10th inning was wild. Tyler Stevenson, he singled to put the Reds up 6-5, scoring the ghost runner Noelvi Marte with a broken nose. Made a pretty good slide, a gutsy send, gave the Reds the lead. Interesting call on Votto, maybe out of the baseline. Who really cares? Doesn't even matter at this point because Buck Farmer shut the door. Reds win, and your Cincinnati Reds, Trace, they're one game out of a playoff spot. One game out of a playoff spot with 16 games to play. The Marlins just lost as well, so that's another team that the Reds leapfrog. And we're early, but the Giants are losing right now 1-0, and the Cubs are down 4-2 to the lowly Colorado Rockies. Their starting pitcher already out of the game. Maybe, just maybe, all the bad things that went against the Reds last night, Scorper watching, maybe it all come back tonight.
I seen a comment. In fact, it wasn't just a comment. It's a super chat by Trevor. First super chat by Trevor, by the way. Shout out to you, Trevor. Thank you very much. He said, are the Reds back? The Reds ain't ever left, baby. The Reds ain't ever left. Some people might have left. Some people might have said, they're dead. I'm so glad football's around. I want to watch football. But you know what? I hope you love football because guess what? You can come back on. We accept everybody. We're very, very, very nice people. You can come back. If you left, come back. If you know someone that left, go be a Jehovah's Witness. Go knock on the door. Let them know. Let them know. It's okay. Jonathan India is the saving grace this Reds team needed. And you know what? The bullpen. This bullpen. Let me tell you something. Nick, read it again. You read it twice. Read it again. Read it again, Nick. Please. Go ahead.
6 innings pitched.
6 innings pitched. 2 hits.
0 runs.
0 runs.
The most impressive of them all.
The most impressive of them all.
0 walks. 7 strikeouts. Hey, let's shout out all the guys. Fernando Cruz, Daniel Duarte, Lucas Sims, Ian Jabot, Alexis Diaz, Buck Farmer. Shout out to you. Shout out to the Cincinnati Reds front office for assembling this bullpen without any money. The highest paid reliever of that is Buck Farmer at $1.75 million. They assembled a hell of a bullpen this year, and they deserve a lot of credit for it because they just won in this baseball game tonight.
I'll tell you what, man. I'm fired up. I did not know a Detroit Tiger win would fire me up this much, but you know what? It did. I was down. I was like I said, you've been there in life. Everyone's been there in life. You're feeling sorry for yourself. You have a little self-pity, which, by the way, self-pity don't get you anywhere in life. You gotta. I'm not saying you gotta always find the inner fortitude. And I almost said something that people might have said, "Oh, you can't say that." But you know what? You have to man up sometimes. You gotta man up. You gotta say, you know what? I'm tired of feeling sorry for myself. So I stood up off my couch and I said, you know what? We're gonna score some damn runs. And by God, there it goes. Scored some runs, tied the game up, left the bases loaded, by the way. But you know what? The Reds are not back. The Reds have never left. And here we're in a position now, like it or not. This team, can I remind everybody, this team, if this city is a baseball city or a football city, I don't give a tail. I could care less what city it actually is. But you know what? It's a good sports city. And you know what good sports cities do? They support their damn team when they deserve to be supported. And you know what? No excuses from here on out. No excuses. I don't want to see that ballpark 20% full ever again for the rest of the season. I know that school's back in session. I know there's Friday night football, blah, 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 blah. No excuses. No excuses. We need to get down there and support this team. They got every bit of a chance to make the postseason than anybody else. And I don't know. I just in a position now where I just think this team has some kind of magic to it, Nick. Like, do I think that they're great? I don't. Do I think they're good? I don't know. They're marginal. Like, they're a little above average. But there's some kind of magic that this team has that I can't explain. And you know what? That's maybe the beauty. That's the beauty in sports. Is like the best team doesn't always win. Sometimes the chemistry is what matters. And Joey Votto said the family is back together. Votto and India's back. Maybe it matters. Maybe I should stop hating on the whole. What did they always say? They always said the team leader thing. That's what they say. He's a team leader. And you know what? From now on, I'm not going to make fun of that. You are? You going to do that? You going to watch Jonathan India come back and hit a bomb his first game back, and then just get some big hits after big hits, and then you're gonna in December you're gonna turn around and say, that team leadership ain't that important.
Reds need good players, and he's a good player, and he helps his team. They need as many of these guys as they can get. I don't know, team leader, whatever. They need good players, and Jonathan India is a good baseball player.
All right. Fair enough.
They needed Tyler Stevenson to step up. He stepped up. They needed Nick Martini to step up. He stepped up. It's been a team full of all these guys. And Trace, it's for me, like, obviously I want the Reds to make the playoffs. I think that pretty much goes without saying.
Sure.
But it's really just at this point, I just want this ride to keep going. I didn't want to see the Reds fall to 3 games back and, kind of fall out of it. I just want another day, and then I want another day, and then I want another day. And that's really where I've been for about 3 months now at this point. And we're going to get another day.
We are going to get another day. And I think today we bought ourselves 2 days, if we're being honest, but that's here nor there. Let's jump into it. Reds offense. It feels bittersweet, I guess, is the term I'd like to use. It felt like it's a game in which they had some good moments, some great moments. They have some guys that are starting to hit the ball really, really well. But they still haven't really put a game away with their offense in a manner in which I'd like for them to. Today felt like they had a chance to do that. They didn't. They left the bases loaded. They left a couple guys in scoring position another time. And again, I get that you're not going to go out and score 8, 9, 10 runs on a consistent basis, but it felt like today they had a chance to do that and they didn't. But at the same time, they did answer back, right? They could have, I don't want to say phoned it in, but when you get down 3-0, it's tough to claw your way back in the manner in which they did. So shout out to them. And if anything, they kind of, I guess, they wore this bullpen down that you said Clay obviously felt like pretty high about. So, they burnt some arms tonight, and hopefully throughout the series they're going to continue to be able to burn some arms, and they'll find a way to score 8, 9, 10 runs in one of these games and take a little stress off this bullpen. Because the bullpen, I don't know, maybe I'll be wrong. I've been saying this since, how long have I been saying this? I don't know. I've been saying this for 3 months. The bullpen can't keep continuing to do this, Nick. Like, it seems impossible for them to go out there and throw 5 innings of shutout baseball, 6 innings of shutout baseball. When was the last time they even gave up a run? I'm being serious when I say that. I don't even know if you know that, but when was the last time they gave up a run?
No, I know. As I was doing the notes for this game, they didn't give up a run in the last 2 games, 9 innings. So that is 17 consecutive scoreless innings from the Cincinnati Reds bullpen. Like, that's stupid.
Yeah.
I should have moved them to the top, when you.
No, that's okay.
Like that should have been story number 1. But I'll give you some thoughts here on the offense.
Yep.
Look, you fought on 3-0, you fight back. That's huge. I mean, it just felt like, oh my gosh, first game against the Tigers, you fought on 3-0, and it was explainable. Look, it was Brandon Williamson, first time pitching in 2 weeks, like he was rusty. Like that had to kind of be expected, but you needed the offense to bounce back against a bad pitcher. I mean, this guy, they gave up four earned runs to the Louisville Bats a couple weeks ago. Like, you've got to hit this guy tonight, and they did. They got to him. They got him out of the game early. And then, look, the Tigers bullpen, you got to give them some credit, too. This is a really good bullpen. First reliever had an ERA of 4.28, but then the next one, 3.15. The next one, 2.15. The next one, 2.48. The next one, 3.51. Like, these are good quality pitchers. That's the strength of their team. And Reds are very fortunate they were able to get this win tonight because now they used all those pitchers. And the Tigers aren't in a spot like the Reds where they're going to run their relievers to the ground. Like, wins and losses aren't the most important thing for them. They're in a development season like we thought the Reds would be in September 12th, 2023. So you used all of those guys, and they all pretty high except for their closer at 13. Everyone else was 16, 16, 19, 46. So that's a good sign. Couple things I will point out, though. And I'll be critical of David Bell because there was 2 things I absolutely despised today. I felt like were maybe somewhat, I'll say it, I think they were emotional moves because of where we're at in the season. I think David Bell's been a guy who's trusted the process all year. And I know the chat and everyone's hated that process, but he went away from that process. And that process, I believe, is why the Reds are where they're at. I thought starting Joey Votto against a lefty tonight was a bad decision. Maybe there's something with CES. We didn't see him at all tonight, so I'll reserve that maybe there's something there. And if that's the case, then maybe that's okay. But the one thing that I thought was absolutely indefensible, Nick Senzel was 2 for 2, and David Bell let the 2 for 2 get into an emotional state of he's 2 for 2. I want to give him another at bat. Had the bases loaded. He should have gone to Will Benson there. Reds were up 5-3 at the time. Will Benson could have increased the Reds' lead, obviously, put the game away. And even if still, you're putting Will Benson in right field, you're moving Senzel Steer out of right field to third base, you're making your defense better. I thought that was a massive mistake in this game. And look, I'll call it out when I see it. I like most of what David Bell's done. It goes with what I would do, but that was a very poor decision tonight. And we're fortunate it didn't cost this game.
Yeah, and I'll defend Nick Senzel a little bit too. I mean, he had a good at bat. He was competitive up there. Now I get what you're saying. I'm not defending the move by any means, but he did swing at ball 4, unfortunately. But Senzel, it's one of those things where it's okay to be critical of a decision and still not fault Senzel because he's not good type thing. You know what I'm saying? This is not about Senzel. It's more about just the fact that, listen, if you're going to believe in a system and do this system time and time again, if you're going to pinch hit Kevin Newman for Jake Fraley when Jake Fraley is lighting the world on fire in the first 2 weeks of the season, then you Nick, you have to do it that way. And I know that I'm a guy that's usually going against that grain a little bit. We kind of play yin and yang on the whole analytics stuff from time to time. But the thing is this. I do think that if you're going to do something, you have to consistently do it. Otherwise, you're just defeating the purpose of it, right? Because at the end of it, the analytics really are, we're not talking about huge deltas here, right? Like we're talking a huge split would be a guy gets a one extra hit every 10 at-bats, right? It's not, and every 10 at-bats, when you were to pinch hit for somebody, it only is going to work theoretically one extra time out of the 10. If you're not going to do that, then you're starting to get into the point where you're starting to kind of play with this weird thing that is, okay, well, you're not going to get the full value out of something if you don't do it all the time. And to be fair to David, it's one time. It's not like this guy's been doing it half the time. So it's, if he's done it 98% of the time. This is the 2%. You brought it up, and I think it's more than fair. And for those that want to say that you do nothing but bootlick, is that what you say? Do bootlicker or something like that? I don't know what the right term is, but
yeah, bootlick.
Bootlicker, yeah. But for all the people that want to say that you do nothing but praise David Bell no matter what, you're being critical of him, which is good. So you know what? We didn't have a deep drive of the game. I'll just give them a quick shout out here right now. Deep drive of the game is usually sponsored by D South Commodities. The fact is they only do wins, and they usually have home runs associated with it. Obviously, that didn't happen tonight, but DSC is a leader in renewable commodities for biofuel production, specializing in used cooking oil collection, aggregation, and sales. www.deepsouthcommodities.com is their website. Visit there for more information. Thanks to our friends, John and his team down at Deep South Commodities. And you know what? I am at a point now, Nick, where Nick Senzel has been providing some value, man. Like he's so bad against right-handed pitching, and he's not really good in the outfield, but he's been so good against left-handed pitching. You feel like he has to continue to be a part of the story, like he just does. So I'm not downplaying. I don't want anybody to think that we're downplaying what Nick Senzel's done, because he had a big hit in this game, and he got robbed of an RBI because that ball hit the corner of the outfield wall when it could have possibly went all the way to the corner and scored India from first. But I just wanted to bring that up before we keep it moving.
Yeah. Well, no, absolutely. And me saying Will Benson should pitch hit for Nick Senzel is no discredit Nick Senzel at all. Nick Senzel deserves a lot of credit for a guy that was the number 2 overall draft pick for accepting a role and thriving in the role. I would almost say Nick Senzel is the right-handed Jake Fraley at this point. I mean, look at the numbers this year. I mean, he's hitting like almost 350, like a 950 OPS against left-handed pitching. It's not a small sample. It's getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and he's hit left-handed pitching better throughout his career. This year, it's really taken off to another level. So he deserves all the credit for getting in his role. That's the thing that I think gets confused a lot of time when I say this guy should platoon, this guy should not. It's not a knock on any of these guys. I want these guys put in the best position for each of them to succeed. I want Will Benson hitting against right-handed pitching because that's where he's going to succeed. I want Nick Senzel hitting against left-handed pitching because that's where he's going to succeed. And I think that, yeah, Senzel deserves a lot of credit for what he's done. 2 huge hits early in this game. Yeah, it's really cool to see him embracing that rule. No discredit at all of him. It's just David Bell needs to. I think it was just a spot where he got emotional. 2 for 2. No, just trust the numbers. Just because he went 2 for 2 doesn't mean he's going to get a hit off a righty that like he's hasn't done almost all year.
Yeah. No, I mean you're right. And listen, I for those that are obviously popping off in the chat talking about wanting Senzel traded and other things like that. I mean, listen. I think the Reds would have traded Senzel if there was an offer that was worthwhile. No one else obviously put an offer out there worthwhile, and here we stand. So we have the guys we have, and I continue to just to be amazed by what this team has been able to accomplish based off the things that have happened to them. I'm not trying to say like throw a pity party here for the Cincinnati Reds and say that it's ridiculous that they keep finding ways to win, but it is like this team, with all due respect, is one you could argue kind of paper thin when it comes to major league talent ready to go this year. They lose guys like Matt McClain recently. They lost India for an extended period of time. I think the Votto thing, again, I'm not trying to like keep pushing this into the universe and act like I'm 100% right. I will speculate, and let me be clear, it is speculation. It's a complete opinion. I think Joey Votto didn't really get hurt. I think that was just an opportunity for him to try to get his mind right and give him a chance to rest and regroup and get himself to a position where he can kind of finish the year strong, if you will, versus laboring through a month of baseball. Maybe it'll never come out, but I'd love to hear what the truth of that would be here years down the line if they're ever willing to tell the truth. But that's here nor there. And then you have COVID. You have Nick Lodolo that's been out all year long. You have Hunter Green that missed extended periods of time. You have Graham Ashcraft, who for a month we thought maybe he wasn't going to be a very good starting pitcher. And then all of a sudden you got a guy like Brandon Williamson who has a 7+ ERA in the minor leagues. He gets thrown to the Wolves in Colorado, and we're all making fun of the fact that they're just going to throw him out there. And next thing you know, he throws the ball well, and then he's been unbelievable for the past whatever it's been, 2.5, 3 months. And then you have a bullpen where Buck Farmer's the highest paid guy, and they go out and throw 17, 18, 19 innings of scoreless baseball when it means the most. So I know I'm preaching to the choir here. I know many of you have been a part of this ride from the very beginning, but it's hard not to be romantic about this team because you don't get this that often. Every single time a season starts, there's expectations that come with that. Next year, you damn well bet that me, you, and everyone else that are Cincinnati Reds fans are going to come to expect this team to be not just a part of the playoff conversation, but a part of the division championship. And this year was just a blessing. I mean, it was a blessing. Now, again, it's not over, but I'm just going to try to appreciate it and take it for what it is. And again, Nick, I don't know how you feel about this, but the Reds offense needs to kind of help carry the load because it feels like it's the only thing holding this team back from getting themselves into a position where I think they can actually get really hot is this offense.
They've been playing well of late. I think they're playing a lot better than I think people think they are. This is a team that came into today leading the National League in batting average and on base percentage and OPS in the month of September. And I'm pulling up the numbers to see if they updated. They still have the best batting average in the National League in September. They still have the best OPS, 3 points better than the Braves in the month of September. So the offense is playing well right now. Yeah, maybe they haven't come through in every single spot with runner in scoring position like maybe we want them to, but they're playing well. And they have their most complete lineup they've had in a long, long time, even without Matt McClain, who maybe still has a chance to get back, which is wild. I thought he was done. A point on this team, kind of to touch on what you just said. If this team makes the playoffs, It's one of the most extraordinary feats in the history of this franchise. And I believe that. I mean, this team was projected to win 65 games. We're at 75. We might be talking about a team that finishes with 20 more wins than they were projected. I mean, think if it was they were projected at 80 and they won 100, how that would feel. It's not really different at 65 and 85. Like, that's where we're at. That's why, for me, I want them to make the playoffs. I just want this to go another day because the season has just been so incredible just because of I didn't have any expectations on it.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm with you. I'm with you. So, all right, B. Will returns. We already hit on this a little bit. Brandon Williamson's a guy that I just – it's hard for me to gather my thoughts right now because there's two different things that pop in my head when I want to talk about him. One is how much of a competitor I think deep down he really is. And you know, when I found that out, this is people are going to laugh at this, but I really thought to myself, I actually like this guy. When he tweeted at Charlie Goldsmith during the rain delay in Baltimore, I know that sounds stupid, and I know it's a joke. Like, I get it. I mean, Trace is kind of an idiot. He says stupid things all the time, but I'm being serious, man. Like, there's some guys that just don't take it that personal like he was taking it that personal. He has a little Graham Ashcraft-ish in him, and you know what? From that point forward, he's been pretty damn good. Now, you know what? Do I think he's got a ceiling to be a number 2 or maybe 3 starter? I don't think so, but I think he can be a serviceable 4 and definitely a serviceable 5. And you know what? Maybe he ends up getting to the bullpen at some point. I don't know, but you know what? At this moment, I would venture to say that if you had to pin me up against the wall and say that I had to pick the top 5 guys that were going to start next year in the rotation, it's hard for me not to think that Brandon Williamson, outside of injury, is not going to be a part of that rotation. And some of it just comes down to the fact now that I think he gets himself into positions where he stays competitive, where he didn't do that before. And you've talked about that 1,000 times. He just could have folded. He gave up 3 runs early in this game. He could have folded. He ends up going 4, giving up 5, nothing to phone home to the parents about. But it just gave the team a chance to continue to compete. And I guess, if anything, I appreciate that out of Brandon Williamson.
It's funny. Literally, after that Baltimore start is when his run started. Go look at his game logs. That's when you can, if you're trying to clip up, Brandon Williamson's been really good since this time. It's literally after that start. So I don't know. Maybe there's some magic to that. But yeah, I mean, he's just he's completely flipped the entire narrative around him. And it's cool to see when a player could do that, because the narrative around him from anyone who watched him in the minor leagues was this guy can pitch. He looks really good sometimes, but man, when things don't go his way, everything snowballs against him. And he's been the exact opposite of that in the big leagues, which is just remarkable. Maybe Derek Johnson gets a little bit of credit for that. I don't know. But no, I mean, tonight, like, look, if you look at his line, it's not great. But if you take a step back and you look at this guy, okay, he hadn't pitched in 2 weeks. The first run he gave up was a mistake home run. But then runs 2 and 3, man, those were brutal runs to give up. Your first start back, you're like, oh my gosh. But he got out of that inning, didn't give up another run. He gave up 1, but then the other run was actually off his watch. So I thought overall he kept this team in the game. And I'm excited to see how he can finish the season, because he's been one of the many incredible stories this year that have kind of built this Cincinnati Reds to 75 wins and counting.
No doubt. Quick super chat here from Matt Wells says, B. Will is a guy that we just like. Something about him just clicks. He fights up there. Tonight, he was pissed at himself, and you could see it. B. Will he's a competitor, man. I mean, he's a competitor. So I can live with that. I can live and die with guys like Brandon Williamson and Graham Ashcraft. And I'm not here to say Hunter Green and any of these other guys don't care either. That's ridiculous to say. But there is some kind of competitive juice that's going to rub off on the other guys. And I think that, you know, when you have Graham Ashcrafts of the world and you have Brandon Williamsons of the world, I do think that there's something that will start rubbing off on those other guys. I think Hunter Green will start to kind of feel that energy, if you will, and feel like he needs to match that, and you start to vibe off each other, and that's why good teams get better. Usually when you're around good players, you yourself become a little bit better as well. Reds bullpen, we talked about this already a little bit at length at the beginning of the show, and really to put a bow around it. You had said, do you think Diaz is going to go 2 innings? I think that was a reasonable request. It was a reasonable thought. But I made the point that at this point, do you really think there's a huge difference between Diaz and I know it sounds wild to say because Diaz has been unbelievable, and this isn't a downplay on Diaz. I'm not trying to knock Diaz what I'm about to say. But in all honesty, man, if you said, hey, Diaz is coming to the game, or Fernando Cruz is coming into the game, or Buck Farmer's coming to the game, or Ian Jabot's coming to the game, if they have their stuff, like if they're not walking guys, I'm not saying they're interchangeable. That would be a little crazy to say, but they're not far off. I would venture to say that if you told somebody that Ian Jabot was coming to the game, that's a casual fan, and then Alexis Diaz, they'd think that there's this massive difference, and I don't see it that way anymore. I just don't. Mr. Juan's asking if am I on the Buck Farmer train. You got me, Mr. Juan. You got me. Hand up, you got me. I know I said we should have traded him. Sometimes you're wrong in life. Sometimes you're wrong in life. You just have to admit when you're wrong. Trace Fowler, born January 30th of 1989, the son of Lisa and Randy, was wrong. Do you like that, Mr. Juan? Does that make you happy? Do you like to go to bed tonight knowing that you just made me do that? I was wrong. All right? I'm sorry. Buck Farmer, God bless him. I don't know what else to say. You know what it was? Can I is this a trust tree? Are we in a trust tree here? Don't tell nobody. I kind of wanted to trade him because I thought this thing was going to fall apart. I've got to be honest with you. I did. I mean, this doesn't seem serviceable. This doesn't seem realistic. It doesn't seem realistic to think that this bullpen is going to continue to go out and save everybody's ass. But here we are. September 12th, 2023. And you know what? I'm glad I was wrong. I'm so glad I was wrong. Never stop believing, but I did think that the bullpen was going to fall apart.
It did at one point this year look like Buck Farmer was completely out of gas. In fairness to you, and he somehow got through that dead arm or rough patch or whatever it was that pitched really well. In fairness to the bullpen tonight, Fernando Cruz did allow an inherited runner to score. Lucas Sims gave up a ball that was a home run in 18 ballparks. But again, the thing that I look to is no walks in 6 innings. And I imagine there was some sort of emphasis. Hey, guys, you're in Comerica Park. This is a place you don't walk guys. And Lucas Sims, hey, if you're, behind in the count, throw, make a beat you with a home run. And they weren't able to beat the Reds bullpen with a home run tonight. So that's just the thing that's the most exciting part of this game is just to throw that many innings, not walk a single batter. That's awesome. And they fell behind several times in the count, but they challenged them. And, this is a team that you want to challenge. So good for the Reds bullpen tonight.
No doubt. All right, let's finish up on a Michael Roth super chat scenario, and then we'll get into some Reds MILB. He says that India returns from injury, gets scalding hot, and jolts the Reds into the playoffs. Is there a scenario where he is an everyday infielder next year? If so, whose spot does he take? Michael, that's a great question. Let's save it in case we need it. That's a great evergreen question that I think we could spend some time on if we lost tonight, or if we lost the next 2 of 3, or maybe we lose 3 of 4. But I don't know if we want to go down that rabbit hole tonight. It feels like the vibes are high, and we don't want to go there. You know what I'm saying? Nick Kirby's getting fired up because the Rockies did something good, I'm guessing.
Yeah, Cubs had tied it, but Chris Bryant just homered off the Cubs. 5-4 Rockies, bottom of the 6.
Good. Well, Let me tell you something. Can I give everybody some really good advice? Maybe the best advice I've ever given on this show. So buckle up, be ready, and listen in. If you are looking for happiness by watching the Colorado Rockies and you think the Rockies are going to please you by the end of the game, you are setting yourself up for a huge, huge disappointment. That team is garbage. They are so bad that if they win that game, I'd be absolutely royally shocked. In fact, if I had the Betfred Sportsbook app open right now in front of me and there was a live line on the Cubs, I would take it because that's how bad the Rockies are. The Rockies are horrible. Like the worst team in Major League Baseball.
They are horrible, but they're not as bad at home. They play decent at home. God, Peter, I gotta stop watching that. But
it's like
Cubs,
crack cocaine.
Cubs,
it might feel good for a second, Nick. The longer you watch that, it's gonna go downhill quick.
The Cubs bullpen's in a bad spot.
Not that I've ever tried that.
Cubs closer Alzolay is on the IL. Fulmer looked awful last night, was able to get out of it. Mark Leiter Jr. has looked awful his last couple times out. That Cubs bullpen has got a lot of cracks in it. And that's why I'm not the Reds, if the Rockies somehow the Lord blesses us and they hang on, Reds will be 3 behind them. I'm not counting that spot that the Cubs hold out because the biggest series of the year for the Reds is this series this weekend against the Mets. That's the biggest series of the year, just from a psychological standpoint, because the Diamondbacks and Cubs are playing each other. So if you somehow go to New York and you sweep the Mets, you on Monday morning are going to be in a great spot because one of those teams have to lose every single day. So that's why, man, I'm not giving, and I think the Cubs, are they going to collapse? Probably not, but they've got some cracks that I could see it. They're due. Trace, one thing we got to talk about. Several people in our lovely chat brought it up, and I'm glad you did, because sometimes when you're doing these shows live, it's hard to remember every single little thing. But something we definitely need to talk about is Elly De La Cruz batting 7th. Chat brought it up. I think it's a great topic to discuss because it was a big change today in the lineup.
Well, Nick, I'm a guy that just thinks the lineup doesn't matter. I mean, I got to be honest, Nick. I've read a lot of books, and I've come to the conclusion that no matter where you stick these guys, doesn't matter. They all get to bat, and they all get the same amount of opportunities, and it just shakes out over the course of 162 games. You might produce an extra run or something like that, but it isn't worth getting in a fuss about. It's kind of nice. It's kind of nice to move him down a little bit. Maybe it takes some pressure on him. These guys are humans. There are some psychological things that go on from time to time with them. And you know what? I think Will Benson's another guy, quite frankly, that the lower in the lineup he hits, the better he often produces. And you know what? The other thing I would say too, and as much as we wanted to as much as we wanted to dismiss this a little bit, Nick, there might have been something to Jonathan India not batting leadoff, and it just something psychological affecting him. And I'm to the point now where I'm not going to argue, because it's impossible to win the argument over, whether or not the lineup analytically or statistically adds up to more runs. I'm going to play the game that is, you can't prove me right and or wrong. It's an indefensible argument. I think psychologically it matters. I think their brains is why it matters. It makes them feel better, or it makes them feel worse, and it makes them try to do something they're not capable of doing, and or maybe it lets them just settle in and relax and hit. So that's where I'm going to go with it. Hopefully it gets Elly going by moving him down in the lineup. Hopefully people got the bid at the beginning, or else my mentions are going to be great.
No, I agree completely. I think the psychological aspect of it is the most important part of it. I'm all about putting guys in the best spots for them to succeed where they're most comfortable, which is why I push back all season when everyone's like, you have to move Will Benson to the top of the lineup. You have to. It's like, well, this guy's comfortable at the bottom. It's not that big of a deal to move him up. You're not gaining that much of an advantage. One thing on Elly De La Cruz, tomorrow Reds will be facing a lefty again. So I think for sure you're putting him back in the 7th spot again. I'm curious to see what they do on Thursday. Although they might actually give Elly a day off tomorrow, which wouldn't be a bad idea against a really, really good lefty. But that's beside the point. I'm interested in Thursday against a righty, because Elliott's splits are pretty drastic. I mean, he's hitting 188 against lefties. He's hitting 254 against righties, 509 OPS against lefties, 786 OPS against righties. So Ellie De La Cruz, as much as maybe people have looked at his numbers and say he's struggling, I mean, that's still nearly an 800 OPS against right-handed pitching. So maybe it's just we're batting you lower against lefties, we're batting you higher against righties. I would have no problem with that. I would also have no problem if David Bell said 7 for the rest of the year, no matter what. Again, I don't think it makes that big of a deal one way or the other, but I do think moving him down was good to help him look more comfortable. He looked good tonight. Drew a walk, absolutely smoked a single right back up the middle. That was a really solid night.
Yeah, he almost killed that guy. I mean, seriously. That guy, he was about a foot away. Ellie De La Cruz was a foot away from damn near killing that guy that was left-handed, by the way. And I just want to remind everyone that he was hitting right-handed when he did that. We'll see what happens with Ellie in his career, whether he decides that he wants to continue to be a switch hitter or if he just ends up banging it all together at some point and just saying he's going to be a lefty and he's just going to try to do the lefty-on-lefty splits, because if the splits aren't great anyways when he's hitting right-handed, and he might just ditch it. The only reason I bring that up is because I remember quite some time ago I was listening to Lance Berkman talk, and they asked him if he could do anything over again in his career, what would it be? And he had brought up that he would no longer be a switch hitter. He just thought it took a lot of time to try to perfect both sides of the plate, and he felt like if he would have just dedicated maybe more of his time, if you will, on just one side, which would have been left-handed, then he could have just been good regardless on whether it was lefty and or righty. I don't know if that's going to end up being a thing or not, but it'll be interesting to see where the game evolves with guys that are switch hitters if their splits aren't really good, if they just decide just to bang it and go left-handed. We'll see. There's not that many switch hitters left, but we'll see. That's a debate for another day. I don't know if there's really anything else to get into before we get into the Reds MILB, and then obviously we can discuss where we're at. I know the chat is rallying the troops right now for likes. So if you're new to this stream, first and foremost, if you just start watching after the fact, thank you once again, as always, for watching the show. The viewership of this show is unbelievable. It just is. I don't know how else to say it. It's ridiculous that at 10:50 on September 12th, which is a Tuesday night, for those that are wondering, we have this many people watching, and we do appreciate the hell out of all of you. So if you don't mind, you can hit the little like button, which is the thumbs up button. More importantly, though, if you subscribe to the channel, that would be excellent. I think we're so close to 10K. That'd be a really cool way to end the season. Who's Your Daddy, which I don't know if I've seen Who's Your Daddy tonight, but Who's Your Daddy was begging for a watch party. We'll do a watch party if the Reds make the postseason. We'll do a watch party. We have the screen. We have what it takes to do one. We'll do one. But nonetheless, to get back to the show, please hit the like button if you haven't already and subscribe to the channel. And if you're new, we do this thing called Reds MILB towards the end of the show before we do some other fun things.
I'm Brad. Shout out you. Nothing else on, really. You know what? I appreciate keeping it real.
We'll
that's
take it,
top
baby.
5. That's top 5 chat of the year. Shout out you. I'm Brad. I enjoyed that. Hey, we'll take you watching over the
Nick thought it was funny. You made Nick laugh. You should be feeling proud of yourself.
It's hard
Brad.
to do.
He's Brad. I'm Trace. He's Nick.
Pleasure.
Some Reds MILB. Do you want to do that, or what do you want to do?
You know what? I'm happy, Trace. I'm happy, man. I'm happy. I'm going to put up the standings one more time because I'm happy. 1 game out, 16 to play. Are you kidding me?
Oh, this dude is he's in heaven.
1 game out with 16 to play. This team's been dead 116 times this year. No. They've only lost 71 games, so they've only been dead 71 times, right? I think.
To be fair, the only time I ever counted them dead was when I was at the Brass Band Festival, and I said that I said that Stuart Fairchild was worthless.
I hope Stuart's feeling better. He's on the COVID IL. Thinking about you,
shout
Stuart.
out to him. Hopefully
I know he's a loyal watcher. All right, Reds MILB. We only got 2 teams left. Louisville Bats.
Tough one.
Well, This game was also, I had it on for a little bit. And you know what? You know what's cool is I normally, throughout the year, I have a couple different screens. I normally watch Reds MILB along with the Reds. Once the other game started, I took Reds MILB off. I'm dialed into other baseball games on September 12th. Did not think that was the case. I thought it'd be all about Reds MILB, but here we are. But nonetheless, I was watching this game early. It was like a torrential downpour, so that maybe also had a little bit to do with it. But the Bats lose 17-1 to the Durham Bulls. Durham Bulls were wearing some of the most spectacular jerseys I've ever saw. Shout out to them. Really unfortunate. Lyon, maybe he's out of gas. He did not make it out of the first inning. Was walking everyone. Tough to see. Kev Newman, 0-for-3 with the walk. He's, I guess, in IL purgatory at this point.
Career's over.
Jose Barrera, his career's not over.
Okay. Yeah, it is.
He will be playing baseball next year.
Career's
Jose
over.
Barrera, 1-for-3. Jacob Hurtubise, this is a guy that I'm fascinated with. I know my guy Craig is all about Jacob Hurtubise. 3-for-5. This dude has like almost a 500 on base percentage in over 100 games of the minor leagues. He's fascinating to watch. And then, of course, when Jason Foster goes 5-for-6, hit this 19th tank of the season, he gets on here. Casey Legamina, 2 innings pitched, 3 hits, 2 earned runs. Did strike out 4, though. And then Chattanooga, they fell 5-3. Not a whole lot going on in this game. Look out, start the playoffs next week. So looking forward to watching that, getting to see Reds minor league team in the playoff game. Blake Dunn 0-for-4 with the walk. Matt Nelson, though, he's a guy to keep your eye on. 21 home runs this year as a catcher. That's the one area that I think the Reds have the least amount of depth close to the major league level. He's a guy, though, that might be a little bit closer than anyone else. Well, I mean, he is closer than anyone else at the catcher spot. So I'll be interested to see if maybe he gets a look in spring training next year. He's a fascinating player. I really liked him. I saw him a couple times with Dayton when they played up here at Lake County. I thought he looked really, really good behind the plate. To my very uneducated eye watching a catcher, I was just very impressed with the way he handled himself behind the plate, some of the balls that he blocked. He looks like a guy that could be a legitimate, at least backup major league catcher, which you can never have too many of those.
Well, we all know that. I mean, hell, we might as well get 4 of them. We've been doing okay with 2, though, Nick, to be fair. Been doing okay with 2.
Kurt's also in purgatory.
Dude, Kurt's
IL purgatory.
Kurt's
hey, he's chasing a ring. He's chasing a ring.
Yeah, I mean, Kurt's been MIA for a while. We just kind of let it go on the show. We haven't brought it up, but
I think he's probably game planning, with this team right now. Yeah, I think he's with the team. I mean, clearly he's.
I think he's gotten locked up in one of those escape rooms, and they can't figure out how to get him out.
Maybe he's got a pitch comm, and he's calling the pitches from the dugout.
Yeah, that could be. All right.
Maybe that's why Tyler Stevens is looking better.
Man, this is what we call stretch. Stretch. Nick, we got who, what, when, where, and why tomorrow.
Well, the reason this win was so big for the Reds is because tomorrow, one of the might be the toughest starting pitcher, to be honest, the Reds will face the rest of the season. Eduardo Rodriguez, he's got a 3.18 ERA this year. Excellent pitcher. Reds have only faced him once. It was back in 2017 through 7 2/3 innings, shutout ball at GABP. Votto did have a hit off of him. Luke Maile is 1-for-10 with 5 Ks. Hunter Renfroe 1-for-5 with 3 Ks. That's about it. But he's a really, really good pitcher. Really tough. Kind of have had a very interesting last couple years. Last year, he went on the restricted list. No one knows where he went. This year, he was supposed to get traded at the deadline to the Dodgers. I guess the Tigers thought they had something done, and he declined the trade, vetoed the trade at the last minute. So he's a different cat, but he's a hell of a pitcher. So Reds will have their work cut out for him. Connor Phillips getting another start. Showed some promise, I thought, tracing that first start. One interesting thing on Phillips, though, he made 2 starts against the Tigers AAA affiliate. That's the Toledo Mud Hens. And in that first start, he actually faced Akil Baddoo and Parker Meadows in that game. Baddoo was 0-for-3, 2 strikeouts. Meadows, though, 1-for-1, a triple and a walk. That game, Christian Encarnacion Strand and Noelvi Marte were in that game. So they'll be 5 players probably playing tomorrow that all played each other in a AAA game earlier this year. Just thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we're in a position where we can kind of sneak one out, steal one. Somebody needs to figure out a way to get him to go out a little bit later than usual tonight. I don't know what kind of friendships we have in the Reds organization with Mr. Rodriguez, but we should utilize them and make sure we can get him maybe a little out of his element. Maybe. May not have the great bullpen available tomorrow behind him. Right. We just need him to go out there and just not feel right, just not feel well for just maybe an inning or two, and then decide he needs to come out. We'll see how it goes. I mean, you said it already. When you win the first one, it definitely makes it feel like winning the series is very, very obtainable. Obviously, it's all right in front of you. You lose this game, you're staring at, obviously, tomorrow, a game that you're probably not favored in, and now we're in a position where, let's face it, you have to win these series going out. You just have to. We're getting to the point in the season where we can't expect the other teams to fall around us. We would like that to happen, but at the end of it, you got to find a way to win games, and that's kind of where I'm at with this Reds team. Is let's see how many we can win. We got about hopefully 12 or 13 more fine Pilsner pops, 12 to 13 more Nick on Nick crimes, and hopefully 12 to 13 more dunks. Because if that happens, I think we got a chance to get some more. Without farther ado, Nick, I know you got that thing laying around somewhere. Where's it at?
I had to bring it a little closer because I felt good this week. I had it ready to go. I didn't have to go find it. It was ready before the game started. So, all right.
That's good.
Oh,
I'm glad you're confident.
But he's upside down.
It's all right.
Even though he's upside. Is Nick Cage from Detroit? I feel like that would track.
I don't know. What's Google say? Chat can let us know. Chat can let us know. Where's Nick Cage from? I don't know what else is left to say, chat. I really don't. We've talked about this time and time again. We've done this song and dance how many times? Every single time you think these guys are done, dead, gone for broke, maxed out. Thought COVID was going to wipe them out next. And sure enough, here we are. Here we sit. Nick Kirby's getting fired up. What happened, Nick? What happened? Oh, no. He's going live in the flesh. Updating scores. The NL
Rockies 6, Cubs 4,
scoreboard.
Rockies 6. Uh-oh. So let the Rockies get hot. We need them to get hot. They play a lot of these teams.
Now, this is the port of the show where I want to remind everybody what I just said a few moments ago. Please don't put a lot of your happiness and faith in the Colorado Rockies, okay? Just don't do that.
Let's go, Rockies.
Don't do what he's doing.
Let's go, Rockies.
Don't do what he's doing. That's bad peer pressure. We're all going to go and get off the stream, and we're going to watch the Colorado Rockies, and we'll see if they can't find a way to win. I don't know what it is outside the fact that maybe, just maybe, there's more magic left in this tank. I thought it might evaporate. I thought it might be gone. But it's on its way. We'll find out we'll find out soon. There's only so many more of these that we get to do. I want to tell you how much of an honor and a privilege it's been, but you know what? We get to do it tomorrow again. So I'm going to save that because tonight was season saving. Have we said that before on the show? Maybe. But tonight, I mean it. I mean it. You lose that game, it's all over. Season's over. Season's over. You can convince me, oh, well, they could have gotten hot after that. Okay, well, there's something called morale. There's something called psychological impact of wins, and this one just means more. In closing, I just want to tell you, it's been an honor to do this show with Nick. It's been an honor to do this show with this chat. But we got more to play, and we got more to do. Now I'm going to go dunk a basketball because that's just what we do. Am I a poet and didn't know it? Possibly. That's why you tune into the show, because sometimes it just works out, and sometimes it's entertaining. So without farther ado, go Rockies. Go Chris Bryant. And the hell with the Cubs.
Athlete.